Hello everybody, Chris Hernandez here, back with another one. This is going to be shot off of my camera, make it more professional, make it more intriguing to watch. But with that being said, I just want to cover mainly the why, in terms of why I got started, why I run my business, so then I could look back on this probably 6 months from now and see, okay, I was on the right track. I like video content. Reason being is like this is documenting your journey. If we look at the people like Kanye West, right? He created his own documentary. He started from nothing, was in the trenches grinding. Nobody would give him a shot. He had that journey recorded. So that's what I'm doing on my end, right? Flipping that. I'm gonna use that for my own journey, for my own entrepreneur path. And it's always cool, like down the line, 10 years from now, I can look back and be like, oh wow, this is what I did and look where I'm at now. So more so like a reflection. It's cool if I get people to subscribe or whatever and view the content. That's a plus. But at the end of the day, I don't really care about that. I more so care about my own journey and my own reflection as a human being, to make sure that I'm making the right decisions. And ultimately, the road's gonna get bumpy, but I know that I have the ability to overcome that and not quit. So in this video, I'll talk about more so my why, my experience, what I'm doing, and ultimately what the plan is 6 months from now, even a year from now, and let's say 2 years from now. So my own story, my own journey, how I went about the entrepreneur route, more so was always working. I mean, growing up at an early age, at like the age of 3, I was playing soccer. Devoted my whole attention to that, became one of the top players, right? I played academy for FC Dallas. That was my path. Got invited to a national team training, right? Was competing with the top players there for the national team, as well as kind of took that work ethic. And then from like 16, I always had a knack for business, probably around 8th grade, but I always knew that I wanted to do something more than just play soccer, right? Most people just grow up, they want to be professional athletes. I knew that I wanted to make a ton of money. So it's more so, how do I do that? And then at 16, right, working a fast food job, getting there, stacking up money to invest into my first course, where I got introduced into the agency model. From there, like from 16, worked a fast food joint for 2 years. At 18, went to car dealership route, right, just being a valet. Still basically working a 9 to 5, but I didn't go the traditional college route. And then from there, stacked up even more cash, invest into a better program. So every single time I was working a job, I was stacking up cash, investing into a program. Started this year, quit that 9 to 5 job into more so remote job, or remote like appointment setting gig. Was there for like a month. Realized like, and I was still growing my agency at the time, but realized like the main focus was this wasn't going to get me to point A to point B if I really wanted to grow as an entrepreneur. So I left that, more so went all in with the business. From there, learning from the right mentor, growing the business, ramping it up, building this everything up together. From like the past 2 years of work, finally seeing it together, working. Signed a client probably last month, and then it's like, okay, I have something there, right? I have something that I've built out that's working. And then from there, like this past like 2 weeks or so, more so getting lost into overthinking as an entrepreneur. Like I led a team. Had a team of people, appointment setters, VAs, right? They were doing all the outreach for me. And then that kind of falls apart because I didn't have the right infrastructure in place. So then it's more so like I went from like stacking, went high, had a client, right? Knew that, okay, this is what I'm doing, it's working well. And then had the team that I built out kind of crumble because I wasn't present. I wasn't the right leader at the time to lead them into the next journey, the next direction. And then from there, it's like, having that confidence kind of stifled down, and then having that affect me as a business owner. Like, do I even want to be a business owner? Like, do I even want to keep doing this? And then now it's like, no, this is the goal, this is a journey I signed up for, this is a part of the game. This is just any trials and tribulations. You're gonna have people leave you, you're gonna have people, exactly, like people you thought you can depend on in terms of like employees, right? Having that shift of like, well, these people can come and go, honestly. But more so, why are they coming and going? Reflecting on that and like, what can I do to make the journey worth it? for anybody in the space. So then I did some reflecting and realized like I'm not here to quit. I don't quit anything in life. And then from there it's like, okay, I'm on this whole other trajectory now. Now I see the vision. Now I was playing so short term. Like I was playing on such a 1 year time frame. When I expand my horizon, I'm playing on a 5-year field. So then for people who are getting started into the agency space, they go on YouTube, they learn it as it's like a done for you model. I can make quick cash, make 10K a month. Well, for me, it's like I don't care about the money anymore. More so, it's like I want the infrastructure that can get me there, of course, but make sure everything that is in line and the money comes second nature. But also it stems from the idea of thinking bigger. I don't want to be working with clients forever. I don't want to be delivering that service. What I want to do is actually come for all the verticals in the market. So what do I mean? Well, like the done for you side of it, yeah, I have the TikTok offer. Yeah, I can run the ads. Yes, I can get influencers to shoot the content. But also, the next step for me is offering like a done with you offer that allows me to share the infrastructure I built out in-house to then these bigger brands who, let's say they do want to take marketing in-house, but they don't know how to. So then more so it's like a consulting offer where it's like I teach brand owners, ECOM brand owners or whatever B2B business, how to build an in-house team with supplying those businesses with the amount of intention I have, the amount of people I've built out in my audience, and then from there scale from there, and then coming from the next vertical, right? So more so I kind of pivoted. I grew as an entrepreneur, just talking to my mentor as well, and it's like you just have to think bigger. Of course you got to think bigger. You have to come for all the verticals. This is not just playing on a game of like I do TikTok ads paid done for you, like every other agency owner out there, like they're doing Facebook ads, right? But more so it's like this is one level. For the next level for me is like, okay, implementing it done with you. The next level after that is like having a full coming for all the verticals. Like in order to be great, in order to be at that higher level, you have to study the greats. If we look at Bezos, if he thought about Amazon on such a small frame, he wouldn't be at the position where he's at. Started off as an online bookstore, from there grew into now selling like products all across the world, like all to every single part of the country. From there, now what he does is he shifted the game in terms of shipping, right? People buy a product, they get that same product the next day, literally. So he came and built a monopoly from all the verticals from one common problem, like selling books. From there, it grew even larger. From there, he solved the next problem. So for me, it's like the biggest problem right now in e-com is, yeah, Facebook ads is kind of diminishing. TikTok has lower CPMs. That's one avenue of it. The next problem is, well, I know these e-com brand owners don't typically stick with agencies more than 3 to 6 months. Why is that? The next pivot for me, it's let me build an infrastructure where it's like I make the onboarding process as smooth as possible, better than everybody else. The next vertical after that is, well, I know these e-com brand owners at a certain point scale to a certain level. Well, they want to build the team in-house, but many of them don't know how to build a team in-house. Let me aid them in building and helping them build a team in-house, because if they're going to build an in-house team, I might as well get paid for it if I'm going to do it for them by building out a solid infrastructure. The next vertical after that, I don't know, but I'm going to continuously be evolving, innovating in the game. So when it comes to business, you got to play it on a 5-year spectrum. Like literally, I could care less if I go broke in a year from now, but if I'm still doing this and posting content and being present, well, I know I'm on the right path and it's all going to pay off. So more so, that's my thought process on why it's important for you to have a why, but also play on a field on such a longer time spectrum, right? If you're playing on a 2-year level, you're never going to succeed in business, honestly. If you play on a 5-year game and you're constantly innovating and asking yourself, what are the problems? How can I solve all these problems? Well, then you're going to grow as an entrepreneur. You're going to grow as a business owner. A lot of people get into the agency space not even knowing how to run a business. But once you realize you're running an actual business, you're competing with top people in the space, well, then your mindset starts to shift. So what advice I have to give is what kind of allowed me to shift my perspective is study the top winners in any industry. Elon Musk, study him. Bezos, right? Study him. Even people above you, see what they're doing, study them, implement that, and then scale, right? There's one guy, right, Cole Gordon. This man's doing 30 mil a year. He solves an issue of, okay, hiring, building out. He has his own sales team. A lot of businesses don't know how to build a sales team. He aids with that, but also he has a recruitment process. So he has a recruitment agency. He has sales training. He has his own team of like implementing these sales, these closers, these appointment setters into these businesses, and he's making 30 mil a year, right? So it's like, you take a step back, you see what's the problem in the market, you look at all the verticals, you solve that problem, then you have a fortune company. Now you have a 7-figure company, right? You have a 6-figure company going to a 7-figure company to then making seven figs a month, like 2 mil a month, honestly, right? How do you do that? Well, you have every single issue in the market solved. That's how you get from point A to point B. So if you're in the position of getting started in business, you have to think on a larger scale, and you have to understand what you ultimately want from this. But you're getting into the game of business. This is not meant for everybody. There's going to be challenges, trials, tribulations, but this is a test for you to see, are you going to get through that? Are you going to stick with it? Because when you stick with it and innovate, you grow, and you get to look back a year from now. I'm like, oh wow, I grew this much. This is how much money I made. Because your wealth is ultimately a representation of where you're at in this point in life, right? So that's all the feedback I have to give to you. If you took anything out from that, right, just grow continuously to grind, innovate, create, and then you're just gonna kill it. Honestly, that's what I'm doing, and I plan on hitting a mil probably in the next 2 years or so, right? Honestly, that's what my path is. That's what my goal is. So I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna document it along the way. So if you guys enjoyed that, yeah, go ahead, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I really don't care about this. More so just want to document my own journey. So yeah, if I can help anybody along the way, then why not?